Hello, everybody. A very good morning to you, and also a very good afternoon to some of you from Japan. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us from far away for this very anticipated Smart Agricultural webinar. I would also like to especially say a big thank you to all our attendees who've joined us from Japan. I know it's been a long day and it's coming to the end of your day, so your attendance is much appreciated. Before I introduce myself, I just would like to say a few words regarding this forthcoming webinar, and also to let you know that it was, as you all know, yesterday there was a 7.2 magnitude earthquake in Fukushima. So we sincerely hope that everybody is safe, that damage is limited, and that any tsunami warning is contained. So we wish the Japanese people the very best and a quick recovery from this disaster. So again, before I introduce myself, the main topic today is the role of smart agriculture for a sustainable future. It's very clear that the world, that we need to change not only our processes, but our behavior. We're being confronted by many serious and important issues, namely environmental changes, climate change, energy shortages, raw material availability shortages, water scarcity and competition. So this will have a huge impact on food production for the future. So hence Society 5.0, if I might just quickly explain, is a real working platform and solid framework to link technology with people and to use that technology for the best to solve existing complex problems and for a more efficient and progressive digital future. So this is why the Embassy of Japan, the Republic of Slovenia, Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry and Food, Slovene Japan Business Council and AV Living Lab have partnered together and organized this event to focus on the challenges, but I think more importantly, the opportunities and the solutions that we can bring to enable progress. Thank you. So first of all, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Andy Hunt Vodopivec. I am VP, Vice President of Business Development at AV Living Lab, and I'm based in Ljubljana, in Slovenia. And it's a real pleasure and honor to be your moderator today. And I really hope that in the next 1.5 hours, you'll learn something really new with some fresh ideas and get some really good takeaways that can, and thought-provoking takeaways that you can then implement together. So without further ado, I'd like to officially kick off our event. So a few statistics, if I may, to put everything in context. We know most of this already, but I also think it's very good to align them. Population. We realize that population is not only growing, but is also shifting dramatically. By 2030, 60% of the world's population will actually be shifting to cities. And by 2050, this will rise to 70%. Now, imagine back in 1950, 751 million people lived in cities. Only 2 of those were megacities, namely New York and Tokyo. A megacity being actually a city that's populated by 10 million people or above. But by 2030, there will be 43 megacities globally. So I think the first challenge is basically the world's population is growing and demographically shifting. Farmland, another big hot potato and issue. In 1960, the per capita arable land worldwide was 0.3 hectares. In 2050, this will drop to 0.19 hectares. So the second challenge is actually, in fact, the world's farmland is shrinking very rapidly. Water, the source of life. We all need it, we all drink it. But as you can see here, 70% of the water is used for agriculture. And if you take one human being, it requires 2 liters of water a day to live, to sustain. But for the food intake per day, in terms of calorific content, it requires 3,000 liters. And water is set to increase in demand by 55% by 2050. So I think the third challenge is water scarcity and increased competition. Food transportation and logistics. The figures speak for themselves, and quite frankly, they're crazy. If you imagine that it's the average travel of an apple is 7,000 kilometers. So I think the fourth challenge is to make food transportation and infrastructure basically much more efficient and sustainable. So coming to the crux of this webinar, and in fact what we need to ask ourselves is, what are the challenges and opportunities of agriculture in the future? What solutions can we realistically bring to the table so that they can be implemented and deployed? And these are the key questions that we will be debating and discussing and reviewing today. My belief is that there's no one single perfect answer, but instead there needs to be a variety of optimal solutions that all need to come together. Before we start, again, we get into the real heart of the nitty-gritty of the subject, I would like to introduce three very distinguished guests who will give their opening remarks and opening speeches, but more importantly, outline their vision on smart agriculture, but also their vision of how to enhance the cooperation, bilateral cooperation between, especially Slovenia and Japan. So the first on stage, I would like to introduce His Excellency, Mr. Jože Podgoršek, who is Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food. Mr. Podgoršek, the floor is yours.
Your Excellency, Mr. Hiromichi Matsushima, Ambassador of Japan in Ljubljana. Your Excellency, Ms. Ana Polak-Petrić, Ambassador of the Republic of Slovenia in Tokyo. Esteemed Professor Noguchi, esteemed Professor Simončić, and esteemed Professor Lakota. Distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased that after 1 year, cooperation between Slovenia and Japan in the field of new technologies in agriculture continues and gains new momentum. In last March, the Slovenian embassy in Japan held a virtual conference entitled Agritech discovered the potential of Slovenia and Japan in agriculture. The event was organized together with the Spirit Agency and the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries of Japan. Today's virtual event is organized by the Embassy of Japan in Slovenia together with the Evil Living Club company and the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food of the Republic of Slovenia. This year, Slovenia and Japan mark the 30th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. The relations between our two nations have traditionally been friendly and fruitful. The countries share a long history of scientific cooperation, which I hope that can improve and lead to successful joint projects in agriculture, forestry and food. In last March, Slovenia became a member of the Field for Knowledge Integration and Innovation Platform, which is under the responsibility of the Japanese Ministry of Agriculture. The platform connects Japanese companies, as well as embassies, companies and researchers from the participating countries. I would like Slovenian companies, Slovenian researchers and scientists from Slovenian universities to be included in the platform in order to develop innovative solutions in agriculture together with their Japanese colleagues. Mitigating climate change and reducing its effects as much as possible is a priority for all of us. Slovenia and Japan are committed to the transition to a carbon-free society by 2050. This forms the basis for further actions and business activities, including in the field of agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change, population growth, and the loss of fertile arable land are great challenges for agriculture. The use of new technologies and artificial intelligence, which also promote a more sustainable agriculture production, is therefore vital for the future of agriculture. Taking into account the rapid development of technological solutions, we can say that agriculture is also a high-tech industry. I would like to highlight that digitalization is an opportunity for rural development since it helps to reduce the gap between rural and urban areas and facilitates their connectivity. The development of digitalization in rural areas facilitates the development of new services and job opportunities. Last but not least, digital technologies are vital to support an environmentally friendly production, increase the quality of agriculture products, reduce production costs, and improve the availability of reliable data, which is crucial for consumers and their food security. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you every success with today's virtual event and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Podgorszek. Excellent overview and resume of the challenges. And I believe that the stakes are very high. When you imagine that agriculture, one of the world's oldest industries, if is digitalized with connectivity and is pushed through, McKinsey suggests that it will add another $500 billion to the GDP value of agriculture. So the discussions are very good, and I'm thank you for that very engaging and stimulating content, Mr. Podgorszek. I also see that Mr. Alois Golscha is attending, and another distinguished guest. Maybe we can present him, and if you'd like to say a few words.
Yes, thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished guests, I want to pass you the best regards from the National Council of Republic of Slovenia. National Council is, by our constitutional frame, is the body which provides the direct contact of civilian society to the politics. And we follow carefully development of the global situation concerning the food production. Even if Slovenia is not a large country and not a large contributor to the world's food production, we still have some potential in the sense of development of the technologies and improving the logistics among the producers and the markets. So we are always open to share the knowledge, to follow the novelties, and to be the voice in the European Parliament which supports the preservation of nature, sustainable agriculture, and implementation of knowledge into this field of the economic production. So we are also looking forward to become some entering point for the non-European countries, which have a desire to approach the European field of agricultural science. I would like to express my thanks to the organizers of this seminar, and also to encourage you to repeat it as many times as possible, because the knowledge is the only thing which is going to save us in the future concerning the global changes in the sense of the environment and also in the sense of the politics. As we can see, the situation based on the last events between Russia and Ukraine can also cause very serious repercussions in the production and distribution of food. So self-standing and production of food in different places with a good logistics is the part of common security in the world of 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for this for organization of this event, and also wish you a good cooperation in the future. Thank you very much, and best regards from the National Council of Republic of Slovenia.
Mr. Golscha, thank you very much for your comments. Very good indeed. Thank you. I'd like to now go back to the opening remarks of His Excellency, Mr. Hiroshi Matsushima. So Matsushima, the floor and the stage is all yours. Thank you.
His Excellency, Dr. Jose Podgorszek, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food. Professor Noboru Noguchi, Hokkaido University, Japan, and distinguished speakers. Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to co-host this event regarding the Society 5.0 development concept by focusing on agriculture this time. In the field of agriculture, Japan and Slovenia face common challenges, such as the fact that farmland is mainly located in mountainous areas and other less favored regions, as well as the aging population of farmers. At the same time, agriculture must provide a stable food supply to the people while taking the environment into consideration appropriately. As a solution to these challenges, Japan is taking advantage of technological innovations that can drastically improve productivity and reduce labor burdens. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome Professor Noboru Noguchi, a leading expert of vehicle robotics in the agriculture sector with extensive research experience. Professor Noguchi will speak about methods to solve the problems Japan agriculture is facing now through technological innovations such as AI, big data usage, robotization, and precision farming. I would also like to thank the Slovenian Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food, the Slovenian-Japan Business Council, and AV Living Lab Company for their cooperation in organizing this event. We hope it will contribute to better understanding of the current state of smart agriculture in Japan and further promote concrete initiatives towards the Society 5.0 in the sector of agriculture and food. Thank you for your attention. Hora Pepper.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matsushima, for your very wise and worthy words, and especially the excellent collaboration and partnership between Japan and Slovenia. It's all about progress and communicating and partnerships, so I'm very pleased and glad that it's going in the right direction. I would like to introduce now our third and final opening remarks. Her Excellency, Ms. Anna Polak-Petric, who is Ambassador of Slovenia to Japan. So the floor is yours, Ms. Petric.
Spoštovani minister Dr. Jože Podgoršek, Shinai-naru Matsushima Taishi Noguchi Sensei, dear distinguished panelists, dear ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to welcome you at today's event, which is another important activity in the year when we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Slovenia and Japan. Today, I would like to draw your attention to two matters. Firstly, that in these 30 years of collaboration, Slovenia and Japan have become close friends and partners. The bilateral relations between our two countries are excellent and diversified, which is reflected in a number of high-level visits in the recent years and many joint activities in the areas of economy, science, research, sports, and culture. I am especially pleased to see a growing interest of Japanese companies in economic cooperation with Slovenia, and that also Slovenian businesses are increasingly present in Japan. Japanese investments in Slovenia have proven to be reliable and long-term, creating quality jobs and building on Slovenian expertise and experience. I do not exaggerate if I confirm that Slovenia has in these years also become one of the closest partners of Japan in the implementation of Society 5.0. Society 5.0 was also the main topic of Slovenian EU presidency in Tokyo last year, with an event in November highlighting Slovenian-Japanese cooperation in digitalization, robotics, and artificial intelligence. I'm very proud that at this event, we had the participation of the President of the Senate of Japan, Mrs. Santo, and the Minister for Digitalization of Slovenia, Mr. Andrijanic, and many other distinguished guests from Japanese business, science, and politics. Many activities and common projects have been done in the past by institutions, companies, and academia to promote the implementation of Society 5.0 in Slovenia. Especially, I would like to thank the Slovenia-Japan Business Council for its ongoing efforts in raising awareness about this futuristic but still human-centered concept. And this brings me to the second point which I would like to highlight. What is even more important than existing scope of cooperation is the fact that relations between Slovenia and Japan are future-oriented by addressing climate change and promoting sustainable technologies and solutions. And of course, the field of agriculture is one of the crucial areas for the EU, Slovenia, and Japan to reach the set targets for 2050. Last year in March, together with our partners in Slovenia and Japan, we have organized a virtual seminar called AgriTech, Discover the Potential of Slovenia and Japan in Agriculture. At this event, companies from both countries introduced their innovation as well as ecosystems of agriculture industries. The event has proven that Slovenia and Japan have great potential of future collaboration and that together we can offer high-tech solutions in the field of agriculture. This is why I'm delighted to see that today's event is another important activity in bringing Slovenia and Japan closer to our common goals. His Excellency, Minister Dr. Podgoršek, has already addressed the importance and ideas what we can do together in this field. Let me just underline that the EU and Japan has just recently launched the so-called Green Alliance to deepen cooperation in achieving each other's climate neutrality goals and to address global environmental challenges. This offers a great potential to businesses and to the scientific collaboration and joint institutional initiatives. Despite being geographically distant, Slovenia and Japan are very close when we speak about passion for technology and innovation. Thus, I'm convinced that we are now and we will be even more united in the future for the benefit of the sustainable development of our planet. This is why I would like to thank the organizers of this event, the esteemed panelists, and you, dear participants, for making today a very important step in this direction. Želim vam zanimivo razpravo. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Petric, and thank you to all the three speakers. My view, very stimulating, engaging, and thoughtful opening remarks. And what I think is very, very clear is that there's a very, very good partnership between corporations, academia, and government in the pursuit of one vision of changing agriculture into a digital connected agriculture. And I think that's the key thing that came across here. So I'm very pleased to see that, and it's actually actionable, workable, and in progress. So thank you very much for those. On to our, I would say, the main part of our webinar today. It's now with great esteem that I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Noboru Noguchi. He is Vice Dean and Professor, Research Faculty of Agriculture at Hokkaido University. His profile is excellent. Mr. Noguchi is Director of Vehicle Robotics Laboratory at Hokkaido University. And since 1990, Mr. Noguchi has developed more than 20 agricultural robotic machines, including combine harvesters, tractors, rice transplanters, UAVs, and a boat. UAVs are unmanned aerial vehicles. Mr. Noguchi has been instrumental in his contribution to both corporate, industry, and academia in the field of advanced technology in the field of agricultural systems. He's actually widely recognized as a leading authority on robotic applications for off-road equipment, and currently devoting much of his time for a new multi-robot system and machine vision for agricultural robots. So it gives me really, great pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to Mr. Noguchi's presentation. Mr. Noguchi, the stage is all yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. Good morning, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Noboru Noguchi. I'm serving a professor in Hokkaido University, Japan. I'm very honored to be here. I'm pleased to have an opportunity to deliver my talk to people in Republican Slovenia. My specialty is smart agriculture, including ICT and robotics in agriculture. Sorry, this doesn't work. Okay, some of you may know Hokkaido is the second largest island of Japan and one of the prefectures. Capital of Hokkaido prefecture is Sapporo, where my university, Hokkaido University, also located in this town. Major industry of Hokkaido is preliminary industry, such as agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. I'd like to today talk about Japan's smart agriculture towards sustainable societies. First of all, I'd like to briefly introduce my laboratory, which is Vehicle Robotics Laboratories, Hokkaido University. Our laboratory is engaging vehicles, autonomous vehicles, robot vehicles, something like that. Our laboratories aim to develop an intelligent robot systems to contribute sustainable societies in terms of food production and environment. We are now addressing that the various vehicles, especially unmanned vehicles, include ground vehicles, surface vehicles, such as a boat, and aerial vehicles, like a drone, and satellite vehicles. These two vehicles, area and space vehicles, are utilized as platform for remote sensing. Smart agriculture utilizes that geospatial information and robotics. That means my laboratory's researches are quite related to the smart agriculture. I would like to briefly talk about overview of smart agriculture. Mr. Matsushima, ambassador of Japan to Slovenia, already mentioned about our Japanese agriculture problems, issues. We have problems and issues of Japan agriculture. One is low self-sufficiency. Now our self-sufficiency rate of food is only 38% in calorie base. We are also facing serious labor shortages in production agriculture, declining number of the farmers and the agings. I heard that this problem is the same. Slovenia also has the same problems. Smart agriculture has two major functions. One is to change to data-driven agriculture. Conventional agriculture, as you know, that this is rely on experiences and intuitions, but we try to change to data-driven style of agriculture. And then the other is automation robotics to reduce our labor shortages. By implementing these smart agriculture technologies, Japan government has set a policy goal of have a majority of farmers practices data-driven agriculture by 2025. The smart use of data and robotics is being heavily promoted in agriculture across all over Japan. This is why Japan's government is pushing, enhancing that smart agriculture is this reason. In order to achieve the smart agriculture, we need to acquire various data in low cost and efficiently. Currently, satellite imagery and then drone is becoming popular to acquire field information. Definitely, weather is very, very important, essential. Producers are always conscious of weather forecast. Then these data are transmitted to the servers, and then data was accumulated and generated big data. Using big data, variable information recommendations are extracted by the AI, something like that, and growers employ these information to the actual farming. Finally, the farm work by the robot. Society 5.0 was proposed in 5th Science and Technology Basic Plan of Japan as a future societies Many, the guests already mentioned about that. It follows the hunting societies, society 1.0, agricultural societies, society 2.0, industrial societies, this is society 3.0. Current society is society 4.0, information societies. What's the next? This is a society 5.0. In society 5.0, huge amount of the information from the sensors in physical spaces is accumulated in the cyberspaces. In cyberspace, this big data is analyzed by the artificial intelligence, AI in short. And the analysis result has fed back to the physical space in real time. And then robots works for the human. Society 4.0 can be realized through such a state-of-the-art technologies, IoT, big data, AI, and robotics. So here, the smart agriculture, the overview of the smart agriculture. Smart already show you. This smart agriculture composes physical spaces. This is actual world. And then cyberspaces. These are data world. And then core technology is IoT, big data, AI, and robot. We can say that smart agriculture is a society 4.0 in agriculture sectors. Okay. Then, as an example of the smart agriculture, I want to explain smart vegetable production systems. In this case, we employed pumpkins as a test crop. Definitely, this system composed of IoT, big data, AI, and robotics, because this is smart systems. First of all, drone frequently acquire crop status, and they also detect disease and bugs in early stages, hopefully. Next, AI can recommend crop management, such as chemical application and fertilizer application. And also AI predict optimal harvest time and the yield before harvest. Then finally, the robot selectively harvest the pumpkins. Only matured one was harvested by the robot. This is a kind of an example of the smart vegetable production systems. Here, this is UAV systems, consist of agriculture drone and then multi-spectral cameras. The UAV fly over the field, and this we made flight plan at 5-meter height with a speed of 0.8 meters per second in this case. With these UAV systems, we can acquire the raw images, very precise. 1 pixel is about 6 millimeters in ground. After processing, multispectral photos are mosaiced into the whole image field. This field size is 35 meters by 550 meters. And the pixel is at 600,060 pixels, and then 67,080 pixels. Again, the pixel, okay, actual size, the ground size of the one per pixel is about 6 millimeters. The classification started from hypothesis of each pixel. We applied that the AI, artificial intelligence, to classification. The hypothesis was calculated with that multispectral values. We utilize not only RGB, but also that the NIR and then also radiates, that kind of another channels to identify the pumpkins. After classification, we got binary images in which white region represent pumpkins. Here show that the result of the among different 3 varieties. Korinki, Oitake, Kuritan, Ebis. This is the major variety of the pumpkins in Japan. And you can see this, okay, even though, okay, even human eye, it's very difficult to find out the pumpkins exactly right, because of very similar with the soil color. And then in this one, Oitake Kuritan, yellow is gray, and then this is very much similar, same color is that the weed and leaves of the pumpkin. That's not easy to find out pumpkins. And the accuracy of the detection algorithms, adaptability, which is a kind of accuracies. This adaptability reached to the more than 90% for all three varieties. Okay, advantage of these systems include yield estimation before harvest, highly stable quality and yield, and then appropriate shipping plan is available. But definitely appropriate harvesting plan, and also that appropriate shipping plan is also that can be generated. Then finally, harvesting robot can replace a human labor for harvesting pumpkin. Harvesting crop, heavy crop such as pumpkin is a very, very laborious job for human. It's caused a back pain sometimes. And then this robot consists of robot tractors, robot arm, and developed robot hand. And then definitely the controlling system is also involved. This robot consists of the camera systems using AI is able to detect that matured pumpkins and its locations. Then robot arm approaches to the pumpkins, matured them, and harvest it. This is one example for the smart vegetable production systems. Okay, and then I want to move on the another topic, the next topic. Today's time is limited, my presentation. Therefore, I talk about agri-robot in this presentation. I introduce three types of robot. First of all, agricultural robot tractor. As I told you already, we are facing serious labor shortages in production agriculture. Therefore, Japan central government set a goal and then roadmap to implement agri-robot into Japan agriculture. Then 2080, agricultural robots are successfully available in Japan. 3 agriculture major manufacturers commercialize this kind of robot tractors. This is the world first. But current robot is basically direct visual observation by the human is required. That means human always stay nearby the robot working and then need to confirm robot work in safe. This is a robot, the robot demonstration. This is Hokkaido University developed. The robot tractor makes tillage at night. Weeding and spraying between the crop row are perfectly enable. Actually, because accuracy of the robot tractor run is about less than 5 centimeters. The robot does not run over the crop and then damage to the crop neither. Robot combined harvester is also possible, but these machines are level 2 agri-robot, which means that the human observation is required nearby the robot. In order to ensure the safe work, again, human stay nearby the robot, even in night. For this technology, we call level 2. Next goal is level 3 robot. This is an autonomous robot with a remote monitor and interfield movement. Interfield movement means that autonomous run capability between the field. Autonomous robot can transfer from the field to field. And then level 3 has not realized it, unfortunately, because implementation of this level 3 need to address not only technical issues, but also division of laws and regulations. Okay, because of unmanned vehicle cannot run on the public road. But if it's become a practical use, work efficiency is dramatically improved. For instance, in the remote monitor is functionated, farm manager sitting in the control room, and then enable to simultaneously manage multiple robots working in the distributed farmland. Current system is staying here, the human here, and then okay, they observe that the robot work done, and then bring the robot to the farm field B, something like that. It's can be limited, the performance is limited. And then function of the automatic interfield movement allow a robot autonomously work in the multiple field, including transfer between the field. Or sometimes, tomorrow it will be rainfall. Should be okay. Farmers start the robot before go to bed, and then robot go to the field, multiple robot, and then back to the shed after all the work done. And then next morning, farmers all farm work was done before rainfall. This is possible. It's theoretical. Okay. My laboratory is engaging to develop level 3 robot. RTK-GNSS, IMER, this is utilized as a navigation sensors. And then in order to enhance our safety operations, surrounding recognition sensors have been mounted on the robot tractors. Full HD cameras, mounted in front and rear of the tractor. And then 2D lasers also employed for detecting human appearances. This is our structure of the systems. Robot tractors, okay, here's the robot control room. I'll show you later on. Robot tractor transmitted images and other working information to the control room through the, in this case, 5G mobile communication systems. And then AI detect human in the front in the tractor. The system issue alert and also the emergency stop to the robot, or the video, okay, the images transmitted to the robot control room. And then robot control room, okay, analyze that the human appearance and then also that vehicle, something, that obstacles using AI. So we utilize 5G internet for telecommunication between the control room and the robot. 5G has 3 major strengths compared to the 4G. 1, large data transmission. 2nd, small network latency. 3rd, large connection densities. Okay, this is the front images. And then this is the rear images transmitted from that robot to the robot control room. Image resolution is already told that full HD. Good news is, okay, grand resolution near front view is about 2 millimeters per pixels. Latency is acceptable range, which is about 300 milliseconds, 0.3 seconds. And this is quite high resolution though. Good thing is theoretically, distance between the control room and the field is no limit. Therefore, we can say that Slovenia, okay, theoretically, from the Slovenia, you can control robot in Hokkaido areas, Hokkaido's field. This is obstacle detection systems, and we adapted multi-layers obstacle detection systems. In this case, safe zone is 12 meters or more from the robot tractor. Obstacle come into the less than 12 meters. AI is at the alert to the robot monitor room, control room. And less than 8 meters, vehicle automatically stop based on that the AI the result. In addition, when internet traffic is sometimes busy, become large latency, communication delays time is become larger. Internal sensors, which is 2D laser, provide emergency stop command to the robot. This is the internal sensors. Therefore, we can say this is a very low time delay. By using live front images, full HD videos, obstacle can be detected by using AI. I already told you that. Detecting obstacle are human and vehicles. The monitor display warning information in the control room, and then even though operator missing that emergency stop button, pushing button, AI automatically makes stop the robot to avoid the collisions. As I told you that, transmitted image is a very, very high resolution, some places 2 millimeters. This image can be utilized for other purposes because obstacles are not 2 millimeters. Therefore, images uploaded to the cloud in real time and then analyzes images using AI. Then pest, bug, diseases can be detected in early stages, hopefully very, very early stages. Even skilled farmers cannot sense this subtle change, very small change. Human can detect not only 2 millimeter object. Then the chemical is optically sprayed on each spot. Therefore, reduce the use of chemicals. And then this technology is not only for the robot. If we can apply to this system to the normal tractor as well, an operator who is a very beginner of the farm the agriculture. Operator just drive, but he just drives the tractors. AI replace the human and then perform the chemical application perfectly, maybe optimally. This is a control room we set up for robot tractors, was being successfully remotely controlled by the one operator. This is my student, but only with this, the student is the manager of the robot. These other 2 students is actually sitting here. Okay, they don't do anything. Okay, but he can start the robot to work. Now he's pushing button. And then center of the image, center monitor shows the GIS-based monitor, provide work status information, such as position, speed, and engine speed, and each other. And then he started 1, 2, 3, 4 robots. And then this is AI detected the human appearance, and then rotating warming light is flashed. Therefore, he doesn't need to watch all monitors simultaneously. It's impossible. This alarm function using AI is very, very useful too. Support systems for operators. This is ideas. In this case, for robot, this is a front view, live images. This is the idea. Okay, I'd like to provide related information. This is one is the official news in terms of smart agriculture of Japan in Japan, utilizing local 5G. The power of local 5G to revitalize regional areas. Japan is building small, close, secure, stable local 5G. Local 5G means that small, close areas available 5G network to transmit it to rural regions. You can, if you have a time, and then if you are interested in this kind of articles, please access this at the URL. And then you can see that this content of these articles. And then this is Reuters, is posted. And then this is the Reuters homepages. This is the banner, banner of the top pages. Actually, this article paid for and posted by Japan government, cabinet offices. Yeah, if you have time, please access. Anyway, let's turn to another issue of the agriculture. In modern agriculture, the AG machinery are becoming larger and larger to increase productivities. But large machine cause soil compactions. Soil pan is generated by the soil compaction, and then it inhibits due to proper growth. And then this is due to the poor drainage as well. This is UK, United Kingdom experiences for soil compaction. Up to 90% of the energy going into the cultivation is there to repair the damages caused by the large machines. Huge amount of energies, oils. go to field to break the soil pan. Up to 96% of field areas compacted by the tires in randomly traffic systems. If we don't know damage the soil in the first places, we don't need to repair it. Consequently, the conclusion is that move toward light machines. Another problem of large agricultural machinery is weakness against climate change. Recently, we often see sudden heavy rains over the world due to climate change. We saw many times in Japan, we see, but I believe that the Slovenia is the same thing, situation, I believe. In wet soil condition, large machine cannot get into the field and tractor stack the field like this. It means farmer miss proper timing for farm work in using such a large machines. That's a big issue. From these reasons, we are aiming to attain sustainable farming using multiple small robots. This system lead working efficiency dramatically improved by increase of number of robots. Multiple small robots can reduce soil compaction with same power of a large tractor. And small tractor is good for the safety as well. Multiple robot has potential users, even large-scale farming regions such as Australia, US, and Brazil, and EU. This is the demonstration of the multi-robot tractors. In Japan, farming main island, we call Honshu Island, is small scale in general. This is already Ms. Matsushima already talk about, explain about that. Generally, Japanese agriculture is very small scale. Therefore, farmers usually use the small tractors. Left video shows two robot tractors separately working in each small farm field. Right video shows that 4 robots working in large farm land. This is in Hokkaido prefecture, where I'm living. Hokkaido, Northern Island, Hokkaido, Japan, performed large-scale farming. Average acreage of the equivalent to the German agriculture, which is about 30 hectares, 40 hectares, average acreage. And in this video, 4 small robot tractors replace 1 large tractors. Multi-robot tractor can be utilized from the small farmland to large farmland by changing the number of the robots. We don't expect that the farmer buy one multiple robot tractors. Benefits of the systems, farmer can borrow small robot tractor each other and makes flexible and efficient work. Well, fast. And this is sorry. This is a 4 multi-robot tractors, a demonstration. 4 robots formed formations. And then are performing tillage in safe. 4 robots is communicating each other to keep formations. Good news. News is there are no limit of the number of the robot tractors. We have this one is 4 robots, but we can increase the number of robots. Theoretically, more than 10 robot tractors, but we don't have resources. Therefore, we just test 4, but 10 is possible. Can be controlled remotely by a single operator, including navigating them between the farm land. The robot can work 24 hours and 7 days, even night. This create potential in the future for a new style of agriculture, where smart machines shared between the multiple farmers and even contracted out of others. Goldman Sachs, this is, okay, not my idea, not my opinion. Actually, Goldman Sachs predict future farming by swarm of smart robots. This means 1 large tractors will be replaced by 10 small unmanned robot tractors. This reason I told you, damage, reduction against a sudden rain, sudden heavy rains, and then also cause of climate change and soil compaction by the large agriculture machineries. They expected 2016, such a small agriculture market reached to 240 billion dollars by year 2050. So second topic, I move on second topic, vegetable harvesting robot. I already show you that pumpkin robot, but I will introduce other robot briefly. This is asparagus harvesting robot working in small greenhouse. This robot developed by not our lab, Inaho Incorporated. This is kind of a startup company. Harvesting is very hard job, conducted with a body half bend. This robot follows a white tape and then perform the selective harvesting. Only matured asparagus, which with commodity value are harvested by the robot. This is a green paper harvesting robot. This robot developed by Agristo Incorporated. This robot is hanged by the wires. Same with asparagus harvesting robot. This robot also harvests selectively using AI. Only green paper with commodity value are harvested. These two robots, okay, this asparagus harvesting robot and then green paper harvesting robot, they have the same business style. This business style is rental services of the robot. Users, farmers don't need to purchase this robot. This robot is rent to farmers. Robot usage fee is based on the amount of harvested vegetables by the robot. And then this is a tomato harvesting robot working in greenhouse. Sorry, this is Japanese, but I'll try to translate it. Robot, this is developed by the Panasonic Corporation. Robot platform is now searching the tomatoes with while moving, and then robot stop when the detecting fruit bunch of the tomatoes. Robot recognize that matured one, and then detect the location with stereo vision, and then robot can arm is extended to the tomato, and then you can see this one. Tomato robot harvests the tomato by end effector without giving damage to the fruit. Only matured one is harvested. Oh yeah, this is night harvest. This is strawberry harvesting robot working in greenhouse. This robot is developed by the National Agriculture and Food Research Organization of Japan. Unique feature of the robot system is that robot is stationary. Instead, cultivation bed moves like a factory robot. As the same with the other harvesting robot, it only ripe, matured strawberries. Definitely, it's work in the night as well as other robot. Challenge is that the robot here is enable. Challenges of the robot is enable to harvest only 60% to be harvested. And then work speed is slow compared to the human, as you can see. Okay, I move to the third robot, fruit cultivation robot. We are now, this is a Hokkaido University work. We are now engaging development of smart electric vehicle robot. EV, we showed, robot for orchard. Goal of the project is sustain a substitute of human labor by the robot. Data-driven farming can be performed by intelligent robot. Greenhouse gas emission reduced by using electric vehicles. wind power, solar power generation will be used for the energies of the EV. The robot can conduct almost all farm work, orchard works, including chemical spray robot, spray, weeding, transport, and then harvesting, pruning, and then scouting. This is on using platform. And then this is on the robot vehicles we develop. We utilize the GNSS as a navigation systems, and then robot is equipped with a smart sprayers based on vegetation volumes detected by the image sensors. The amount of the chemical is controlled by the each. Sorry. Okay, sorry again. Okay, and then this is spraying now, but this spray is a smart sprayer is again implemented based on vegetation volume detected by the image sensor. Amount of the chemicals is controlled at each spot. We can change 4 steps of the amount of chemicals, and then this is robot control room. You can see this is the monitors in front of the vehicles, and then this is a GIS-based monitors. You can see 2 robots work together, and then we can see the the robot tractor is detect the human, and then stop it, and then step out. The human step out of the danger areas. This robot can be start again, and the robot can be not this robot is only sustainable for the agriculture production, but also sustainable to the environment. Let me summarize my talk, and it's expected that small agriculture solved labor shortage of Japan agriculture. Smart agriculture is society 5.0 of agriculture sector. I already mentioned that. It comprises data-driven farming. Conventional agriculture is that you need to be experience and intuition. But we try to transfer from this conventional agriculture to the data-driven farming. And then also that we are robot. The 3rd generation automated machine we call level 3 robot, which include capabilities of remote control and autonomous movement between the field, has been developing in Japan. Not feasible, commercialized yet, but now is at the developing. Smart robot for vegetable production and orchard have been focused recently. I show you vegetable production and orchard, but this is very new topics. Still, almost all the system is at the still under development. This is now is focusing on this kind of news. Vegetable and orchard smart systems. Finally, we are aiming to overcome domestic agriculture challenges using this kind of smart agriculture, but also that we want to contribute to the SDGs. Thank you for listening. But I believe I have still some time. So I would like to a little bit make advertisement of the related conferences held in Japan. I want to invite you to Japan to see newest technologies of agriculture, including smart agriculture. Actually, we are organizing CIGR World Congresses 2020 this year, in this December, 5th to 10th, in Kyoto, Japan. You may know Kyoto. Kyoto is here. Kyoto is one of the most well-known cities in Japan, and then considered cultural capital of Japan. So this is a promotional videos of CIGR World Congress 2022. Please take a look.
We introduced the 20th CIGR World Congress 2022, which will be held in Kyoto, Japan. The CIGR World Congress is the largest international conference of CIGR once every 4 years. It is expected that the world population increases to 9.8 billion people in 2050. Under the population growth, world food problem occur as follows. Protein consumption increases, global warming progresses, energy crops increases than the food crop, available land and water decreases, and so on. Congress dates are December 5th to 10th, 2022. Venue is Kyoto International Conference Center, Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto International Conference Center was established in 1966 in this mecca of Japanese culture as Japan's first state-sponsored international conference center. Organizations are CIGR, Science Council of Japan, and Japan Association of International Commission of Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering. In addition, gold sponsors are Kubota and NTT. Silver sponsor is Yanmar. Bronze sponsor is Iseki. Organizing committee has already been established. Congress General Chair is Professor Noboru Noguchi, Hokkaido University, Japan. Chair of Organizing Committee is Professor Sakae Shibusawa. Chair of Executive Committee is Professor Michihisa Ida. Chair of International Programming Committee is Professor Shuso Kawamura. Preliminary program consists of registration, welcome party, opening and closing ceremony, keynote session, oral session, poster session, exhibition, award, dinner, technical tour, and open seminar. Kyoto is historical, traditional, and old capital of Japan. Kyoto has 17 temples, shrines, and castles inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List, and about 2,000 temples, shrines, and other historical sites. Access from Kansai International Airport is easy, and it takes about 75 minutes. Kyoto is 500 kilometers far from Tokyo. It is convenient to use Shinkansen from Tokyo to Kyoto. Regarding accommodation, there are so many reasonable hotels with variety in Kyoto. There are plenty of great budget ryokan, traditional Japanese inns in Kyoto. Important date is as follows. Online registration and abstract submission will be open December 1st, 2021. Please access http://cigr2022.org/index.html. See you soon at Kyoto. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for the watching. I sincerely hope that COVID-19 will end, and then you will be able to come to Kyoto as before, and then participate to the CIGR conferences. But definitely, we are now thinking too. We have hybrid conferences, which means that not only the physical, but also that the remote the conferences. Therefore, maybe you can join as a remote the attendances, participants. But I hope you can come to Japan and then see our culture and then the culture and then also see site of Japan. Okay, thank you very much for listening.
Super, super. Professor Noguchi, thank you very much for your presentation. Very impressive, very data loaded, and very impactful. And it's wonderful to see advanced technology in action. It's really very nice, very impressive, and very good work. So congratulations. It's also very nice to see ideas put into reality. So I was very impressed and learned a lot. So thank you very much. This leads us to the next part of the next section of our webinar, the panelists. So today we have 4 very experienced, knowledgeable panelists who will share their vision, not just on smart agriculture for sustainability, but also how to enhance existing collaboration between Slovenia and Japan, and the progress already made. So due to time, I would like just a few house rules. Each panelist will have 5 minutes in which one question will be put forward to Professor Noguchi. So I would like to have the pleasure in introducing our first speaker, Professor Yoshiaki Ichikawa, who's visiting professor at Tama University. Mr. Ichikawa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Noguchi, for your excellent presentation. It's very much insightful and also inspiring to me. So stimulated by Professor Noguchi's presentation, I would like to provide a kind of comment or ideas for a few minutes. By the way, as introduced by Andy, I was at the University of Tama University and teaching at the business school. And my expertise is business strategy for international standard. So regarding this, I would like to start with expressing my gratitude to SIST, which stands for Slovenia Institute for Standardization, because we just finished an official meeting in ISO. ISO stands for International Standard Organization. And that meeting is called IWA 39. IWA stands for International Workshop Agreement, which addresses Society 5.0 standardization possibility. And there are 27 countries participated. Almost 100 people are joining in, including Slovenian Institute of Standardization. And we had a very good discussion, and the publication will be made in a few months. In that, of course, the ideas of Society 5.0 included lots of application field, including our agriculture as well. Well, get back to our this main topic. Professor Noguchi's presentation on the production side improvement utilizing advanced robotics technology, very impressive. And I fully agree with this kind of application will contribute to future issues, especially solving the current labor-intensive issues and increasing the productivity. But when we look at the total, supply chain or value network of food sector, maybe we can view a little bit different angle of the current issues we're facing. As Andy introduced, of course, we are facing the lack of farming land, the lack of water. So we are facing the risk or peril of nutrition given to us, of course, in the near future. However, very ironically, we know that in the advanced economies, especially, we are having a huge amount of food loss as well. So in Japan, it is said that 6 million tons of edible food wasted in the supply chain every year. So it's not only the kitchen of the consumer's table, but also from the restaurant or retailers and wholesaler distributors and manufacturers of food product. So many, edible food are wasted, and that is also an issue to be solved, of course. And for that purpose, the Society 5.0 technology can be applied, I believe. So it also, of course, solved by the robots like UAVs, but some traceable IoT technology to detect the losses or the mismatch of the demand and supply. So, and also maybe the Society 5.0 can help change the behavior of consumers. And those are all combined together to make a very successful and sustainable food industry in the near future. So if Professor Noguchi have any idea of improving the larger view regarding the food sector as a whole, I would appreciate your suggestion. Thank you very much.
Noguchi, you have 1 minute.
Thank you very much. Very nice the question. Thank you. Very good questions. Actually, in Japan, national cabinet offices is organized at the R&D project. This is the project address that you are saying smart food chains establishment. Smart food chain means that not only production, but also that they are extended to the consumers, sales, retailers. This is now our system, data-driven agriculture is that just focusing on production part, but we need to be extended to this data. Then you are saying true. Okay, we need to reduce that food loss. We can therefore important thing is how much the product, the crop we have shipped, or how many when. This is very, very important to make much of the consumer side. Therefore, demand side. Therefore, now we are developing this kind of smart food chains, production to the logistics, and then the processing part, and then transportation, and then the the selling part. Then we communicate with the link data, how much demands of the consumer side. And then based on this information, farmers ship that and then also the make crops. This is the idea, just in time system.
Thank you, Mr. Noguchi. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. So
okay, sorry. This is saying true. This is a very important thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ichikawa, for your presentation, your comments, and your question. Thank you very much. I'd like now to introduce Professor Andrej Simoncic, who's Director, Agricultural Institute of Slovenia. Mr. Simoncic, the floor is yours.
Good morning to everyone. Distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, the Ambassador Hiromitsu Matsushima and Dr. Anna Polak-Petric, dear Minister Jože Podgoršek, Mr. Alojz Kovšca, President of the National Council, and of course, Professor Noboru Noguchi, and all other panelists and guests. It's really my pleasure and privilege to say a few words on the occasion of this short in time event, but very important in many other aspects, as already mentioned. But firstly, many thanks to Professor Noguchi for really excellent presentation. As mentioned, I'm Andrej Simoncic, Director of Agricultural Institute of Slovenia, main professional and research institution in the field of agriculture and ecology related to agriculture in Slovenia. Our institute is a public research institution founded in 1898, that means 123 years ago. Its present founder is the Republic of Slovenia, and one of our prime objectives, of course, is to offer solutions for the agriculture and food sector to become more efficient and more competitive by adapting new technologies and methods. So we are very glad to be part of this event today, covering one of the most contemporary and important topics as regards agriculture.
Agricultural production and world food security and food safety are, of course, directly and strongly dependent on research and innovation, including digitalization. For these two reasons, I'm very pleased as well that we have the pleasure today to listen to Professor Noboru Noguchi, a prominent expert in the field of smart agriculture, who has made this event today interesting with his excellent presentation on successful implementation of the model of smart agriculture in Japan. I would like at this occasion, of course, emphasize that for Slovenia, and I'm sure all for other countries worldwide, this topic covered by this event is of very great importance. As regards Agricultural Institute of Slovenia, we are aware of this, and we try to be proactive in research and developing new technologies, as well as follow the latest trends worldwide in various fields of agriculture to integrate them into our agriculture as quickly and successfully as possible. Nevertheless, we are still quite few big steps from smart agriculture, let's say from the books, for which we know it combines very diverse tools from communication technology solutions, already mentioned, precision measuring equipment, geo-positioning systems, big data, drones, and so on. I will just finish with this. And of course, if I may, I would like to ask Professor Noguchi one, or if you let me, two questions related to his presentation. First one would be about the share of farmers which run their farms according to the principle of smart agriculture as presented today, and which agricultural sectors are most active in using these advanced technologies. And the second question, also important to Slovenia, to see how can we get something out of your system, is related to the organization, management, and financing of these activities related to development of smart agriculture. So which body, institution, or ministry is in charge, responsible for the development and support of smart agriculture? And in your opinion, what factors would you specially highlight as the most important influencing the successful development of this rather very interdisciplinary field in Japan, as well in other countries? So thank you once again, Professor Noguchi, for your excellent presentation.
Thank you. Comment and then yes, questions. First questions. Actually, you know, they are in Japan still. There are not many farmers doesn't use that the smart technologies. Well, the reason why is that the reason is that the initial cost, and then and also that, you know, our agriculture the farmers age is that the very aged. So average age is 68 years old. Therefore, they don't like it, new technologies. Okay, you know, sometimes they refuse this kind of technologies. Therefore, we can say that young and then very much active, the farmers want to try to involve this kind of technologies so far. And then the young and then also, but we need to develop, you know, develop this technology for the aging people as well, because of average age is very high. That's a very important thing. And then another thing is that, you know, to implement this technology as fast as possible is that the most important thing, education of farmers, I believe. Farmers need to be, you know, this technology can support for the producers and farmers in aspect of money or fatigues, this kind of thing. And also that they spend money, the most important, they spend money to purchase this kind of technologies. We need to convince them to, this is very supportable for these technologies. This is a very important thing. But this is definitely, this kind of local 5G, smart agriculture technology is very, very important, I believe, to the future agriculture, even in Slovenia.
Super. Thank you very much, Mr. Noguchi. Thank you, Mr. Simoncic, for your comments and your question. Great. So I would like to introduce our third panelist, Mr. Professor Miran Lakota, who is head of Department of Biosystems Engineering, University of Maribor. Mr. Lakota, the stage is yours.
Hello to everybody. My name is Miran Lakota, and I come from University of Maribor, from Faculty of Agriculture and Life Sciences. I'm the head of the Department for Biosystem Engineering, and today it's a great honor for me to be in such a famous society. First of all, I must apologize because my English is far away from Andy's English, and for my friends from Japan, sorry, but the only word is konnichiwa. I can in Japan, that is all. And so our department, if I introduce us first, is we are working on automatization and new technologies. We have a study program of biosystem engineering. And today we can say very shortly that we are one of the leading group for agriculture robotics in a wider region with many national and international awards. And the main point of our work is development of a new hardware and software, and also implementation with evaluation of new sensors and systems for agriculture robotics. When I say the group, I mean the members of the department. We are 7 people. Then there are students from not only from our faculty, also from faculty for computer science and mathematics and so on. And we are also cooperating with external companies. Some of them are built from our students in the past. So our milestones in our development was we began in 2001 with the first precision agriculture application, and then 2008 we began to build first small agriculture robot for the competition field robot event. This is a students competition, and here on the right you can see our last version of robot. And we have also, I must say, we have won something also in this competition, and it is a competition of small students robots, and the contents are so kinematics, autonomous navigation through the cornfield, then recognition of shapes and colors, wheat and obstacles. I know, Professor Noguchi, you can this. And then we extremely like the freestyle because this is presenting of new solutions, and the last competition that was live 2019 we won with presenting of laser destroying of wheat, also without chemicals. So but on the basis of this prototype we have developed many real solutions. In 2015 the competition was here on our faculty here in Maribor. And it was a great milestone for us because the researchers from Italy have visited us. And in the last 5 years, we have a lot of researchers projects together with Italian researchers. And the results is here you can see a small picture of Rovitis. It's an autonomous sprayer that is navigated with 3D laser, and the brain of this machine are development in our group. So we are proud of this because this is our small contribution to development of these machines. So in 2019, we have on our study program first diplomas from using of drones in Slovenian agriculture. And today we have a research project. So your presentation, Professor Noguchi, was very interesting. It was already 5.0. So the next step for the next maybe 10, 15 years. And because I say always so, we are now in the process of digitalization. So mechanization is already behind us. Automatization, we are working on this. And the next step is robotization. Before I ask you questions, thank you for the inviting on your congress. We will see with the guys, we will write something, surely. And the question is the next. You say that in Japan, the policy goal to the 2025 is that all farmers should, mostly farmers should adopt data-driven agriculture. The question is, okay, on the one side, we have a technology solution, robots and so on. But what is measures, other measures? I mean, laws, society, and so on. Have you any activities also from other ministries or faculties? Because this will dramatically change also, let me say, the whole way of our life when the machines are going across the road and are doing something in our neighborhood. So this is where, if you have any comment or what is, if it's something happened in your country in this field.
In my presentation today, just only time is very much limited. Therefore, I just introduced robot part. But definitely, data-driven agriculture more and more important, I believe, because of young people doesn't want to get into the agriculture field because of this kind of a to learn agriculture, take a time, and then therefore they don't like it. Therefore, data-driven agriculture support to learn agriculture, the ergonomic, the information, and then also how to cultivate the crop. That's the most important. Therefore, in Japanese policy is that you are saying through by 2050, almost all farmers utilize that data. But this is the various stages. Normally, okay, many people use that iPhone. Therefore, using iPhone, they get some information, weather forecast or some kind of recommendation from the professional. This is also the data driven. Therefore, just only almost says I cannot say that. Almost all people use that robot or a smart robot and this kind of thing. Just only say that people, farmers need to be more familiar with the data and then agriculture to improve productivity, this kind of thing. This is the current status of the Japan, but we need to enhance this kind of this campaign or movement.
Super.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Noguchi. Thank you, Mr. Lokata. And wonderful.
If I have 1 second more.
Very quickly, Mr. Lokata, you're 3 minutes over time.
Yes, one interesting situation as we present in 2019 this prototype on the fair Agra there was many farmers. They say, I want to buy this. I want to buy this already today. Give me, if this is working, I will buy. But on the other hand, it was a farmer with a little boy, and the father said to the boy, "Look, you will have a machine when you grow up." And the boy said, I don't want this machine because he has no steering wheel, and this is not useful.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, please
Thanks,
keep in touch.
Mr.
Thank you very much.
And wonderful to see Slovene-driven technology. Very nice. Congrats. We will move on to last but not least, Ms. Tatiana Zagorc, who is Director, Slovene Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Chamber of Agriculture for Agriculture and Food Enterprise. The stage is yours, Ms. Zagorc.
Yeah, thank you very much for invitation, and I'm very honored to be in such a community with a lot of knowledge. And of course, my best regards to all honorable guests. Of course, Mr. Noguchi, it was a very high pleasure to listen to your presentation. And let me just introduce myself very briefly. I'm director of Chamber of Agriculture and Food Enterprises. So we cover both parts, agriculture, production, and food processing industry. And of course, we are very interested in new technologies. We are also running a strategic and research innovation platform for agriculture and food. And we are in high cooperation with all institutes within the Slovene borders, and of course, with many others abroad. As being food technologist, I would extend your presentation with question, how do you see the potential use of different robots, and maybe you already developed some from point of view preventing food fraud, and of course, as a technologist, I'm very interested in safety of food products. Maybe you have some development also in this area. This is my brief question to you.
Oh, sorry, I could not catch the question. So please, sorry.
Yeah, I will repeat. I'm a food technologist, and as that, I'm very interested in prevention of food fraud and also improvement of food safety. I can see that you are using some, technologies also to very wise usage of pesticides. So I can see that this is very good from point of view of safety, but maybe you can add some additional examples.
Examples?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can examples was being
yeah.
Actually,
in the area of food processing, or using different technologies to increase food safety.
Food safety is the key question here, Mr. Noguchi.
Yeah, that's a good impression. Definitely, as you say that, our system is that it reduces the chemicals. Okay, and also that as much as possible, because of the detecting the current status of the crops, and then decrease of the chemicals. This is good for the food safety, I believe, and also that right. This is the idea. Yeah. And then also that human cannot recognize that the small change of the crop by the bag and the diseases, but you can change and then spotly spray that the chemicals, as in short, very small amount of the volume, I believe. Is not the answer to your question? It's not true. Sorry, Andy.
Yes, no, I think that's replied. It's Ms. Zagort. That's okay with you?
Yeah, that's okay with this frame. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for all these excellent discussions, intelligent context. Thank you again, Mr. Noguchi, and thank you all the panelists. Wonderful, good to discuss, debate, and review. So lots of good info and lots of good, much food for thought. Excuse the pun. No, I beg your pardon. There's one question that's come in through the chat. Just bear with me one moment, Mr. Noguchi. I have a question. What area of agricultural land are you currently cultivating using robots? How do you plan to tackle hard-to-reach terrains? Are there any automation limits in robotic agriculture?
Yeah. Important thing, okay, thank you very much. In Japan, so far, okay, little bit, not small land is not available now here because of robot is the expensive. Therefore, usually the robot is a little bit large size, and also technology is not allowed to use used in the small land because the small land is more more difficult and complicated. Therefore, currently the land to the robot is at the large, but all manufacturers and users want to use the robot in the small land field. This is the current state. Now is that becoming smaller and smaller. Maybe then at that time you can use maybe Slovenian people, you can use this kind of small robot, I believe. This is the kind of status. And then the problem here is now is that the agriculture robot, you mean the barriers or problems, right? For the implementing robot in Japan, your question.
It's actually, what area of agricultural land are you currently cultivating, and are there any limits to the robots?
Okay, yes, one is the size of land, and sometimes on the trees and then near, they are near land, and then this kind of blocks that the signals communicate the radios, and then this causes some problems. Therefore, best field for the robot is a large scale farmland, and then open sky.
Okay,
this is
large area,
trees and building.
No obstacles.
Yeah, this, and also that the infrastructures such as the telecommunication systems, and then.
Sure, super, yeah. Great. Thank you very much for that. So thank you for those all intelligent questions. Thank you very much. So we'll move on now to our next guest. And we are rapidly approaching the end of this webinar. But before we wrap up, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Milan Skender for some closing remarks, and I hope some very good takeaways from this very productive webinar. Mr. Skender was former Slovene ambassador to Japan and is now Secretary General of the Slovenia-Japan Business Council. So, Mr. Skender, the floor is yours, and we look forward to your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. Excellencies, Noguchi Sensei, dear friends of Society 5.0. I'm really honored to have a chance to be last speaker and making closing remarks to today's event. Smart agriculture in connection with the development of concept Society 5.0 is a topic which deserves full attention of politics, business, and academia. I believe in short time, agriculture will be much more in focus than it is now. Enough healthy food production in sustainable environment is one of imperatives for our future. Slovenia-Japan Business Council is promoting development concept Society 5.0 since 2018. In meantime, we did several forums on the topic in Slovenia and Japan. We have published brochure Society 5.0 in 2020. Because of COVID situation in 2021, we were a little less active, but in 2022, we are starting with the full power. Smart Agriculture Seminar is offering excellent opportunity also to us. Our plan for 2022 is to promote Society 5.0 concept more in concrete, more practical, ecosystem by ecosystem, to see what really can be done for changes on some fields. For example, energy production and management, mobility, smart cities, robotics, and so on. Agriculture will be a big challenge. Problems are very complex. Big data, artificial intelligence, and robots in combination with the nature. Slovenia is facing similar problems in that field as Japan. And this is reflecting dramatically on rural parts of our country. Smart agriculture is a solution for our agricultural problems also, and fortunately, we have chance for development of those ideas. We have well-developed production of robots, number of startups on the field of agriculture, full governmental support of government for digitalization. Academia is working well on this field, but to develop ecosystem as we would like to have, we will need much more. Food and energy are one of the biggest challenges for our future, and Society 5.0 must offer solutions. Our current historical moment telling us we must find solutions for enough food and energy for all people in the world. In other case, Society 5.0 has no sense. If today's event made some contribution in finding solutions, how to make that, we have achieved our goal. Let me finish closing remarks with the call to explore possible joint projects on the field of smart agriculture. As you maybe know, in Slovenia, we are just finishing a smart community, smart grid demonstration project with the support of Japanese energy agency NEDO and company Hitachi. We can be excellent candidate for the similar projects on the field of agriculture. Like in the case of energy, we can offer good base for start. Slovenia is important robots producer in Europe. We are actively working on the development of artificial intelligence. In Japan, number of demonstration projects on the field of smart agriculture is already going on. Robotization and artificial intelligence are key words for the smart agriculture. So we will try to motivate and attract Japanese partners to start to promote smart agriculture achievements for Europe here in Slovenia. With the reference of demonstration project on the field of energy supported by NEDO and good robot production, I believe we can be good candidate for partner in smart agriculture demonstration projects here in Slovenia. Thank you. Arigato gozaimashita.
Thank you very much, Mr. Skander, for your comments, but also for your excellent contribution, not just for this webinar, but also for your excellent contribution in the Slovene-Japan relationship, but also Society 5.0. So thank you for that and your contributions. We've now come to the end of our webinar. However, I would like quickly just to resume in a few short sentences what we've heard today. I do believe that we have the industry, agriculture, has come to a technological crossroads and that we need to choose the right direction. And a lot of the success will be based on a few things. It will be based on a lot of investments in much better connectivity worldwide, but also new and realigned partnerships between corporations, government, and also academia. And I think the success of the future has to go from digital and must be connectivity-driven future of agriculture. So I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the speakers, the panelists, everybody involved, and everyone who attended and who joined and listened throughout. And thank you for making this event a really good, successful, and productive webinar. Last but not least, please do not forget to fill in the questionnaire. It's a very short questionnaire, 4 to 5 questions. Will take less than a minute to fill it in, but would really help us to improve all the webinars and to know what we did wrong and what we did better right and to improve. So I would seriously urge you to take time and fill in the questionnaire that is at the bottom of the chat, all will be sent to you via email. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you and goodbye.